Let's start by adding some vanilla ice cream sandwiches into the bottom of our casserole dish. Next, we're gonna take some Cool Whip, and then I'm gonna take some chocolate pudding powder, and we're just gonna pour that in there. We're also gonna need some crushed up mini Oreos. Just gonna add those directly into our Cool Whip container. And now we gotta give everything a really good mix. Make sure that powder is completely mixed in with that Cool Whip. So now what we're gonna do is pour this over top of our ice cream sandwiches. I'm not gonna pour all of it out, just half of it for now. And then you just wanna spread it out, going all the way to the edges and covering those ice cream sandwiches up completely. Doesn't need to be perfect. You just wanna make sure it's covering those ice cream sandwiches up. Now I'm gonna take some chocolate syrup and I'm just gonna drizzle that all over, going from one end to the other. And I'm also gonna do a drizzle of caramel sauce, just doing the same thing, going back and forth. Now after that, I'm gonna take some mini Oreos. And I'm just gonna scatter those all over. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just do as much or as little as you like. I'm also gonna do some golden Oreos. The same thing, mini ones, and just scatter those all over. And we got a little bit of white and a little bit of chocolate on there. Some caramel and some chocolate sauce. All right, next we're gonna go back in with those ice cream sandwiches to create our second layer. And I'm just gonna press them down a little bit as I'm putting them in. And I think I've used about 9.5 for the first layer. So I've got 9.5 unwrapped already. Let's do one more back here. And then our half. And on top of those ice cream sandwiches, I'm just gonna add some plain Cool Whip. And again, just spreading that out, going all the way to the edges. This is such a great dessert to do with your kids as well, because it's easy, no bake, and it tastes delicious. Do a little bit more over here, close that up. Perfect. And then I'm gonna take a scoop of that chocolate Cool Whip that we did. I'm just gonna place that on top. And one more over here. There we go. Next, I'm gonna go back in with that chocolate sauce, just doing the same thing, drizzling back and forth, just like that. And then I'm gonna take that caramel sauce and go along the other way, just to make this pretty design. Then I'm gonna take some more of those mini Oreos. I'm just gonna kind of throw them wherever. And then the same thing again with those regular Oreos. And for a little pop of color, I'm gonna take some mini M&Ms and just kind of sprinkle those all over, just to add some color and make it a little more fun. All right, our beautiful ice cream cake is ready to go into the freezer because we can't cut into this until it's been frozen for a few hours. So we're just gonna pop that in. Look at all that, that looks so cool. Okay, it's been a couple of hours. Time to check on our ice cream cake. It's very cold and it looks like everything's set nicely in there. Let's get ourselves a nice slice out of here.
Nice corner piece.
Yep. Let's just scoop that out. Look at that.
Wow.
Let's put that over here on our plate.
All right, let's get a bite of this.
Let's dig in. All right.
All right.
Cheers.
Cheers.
There's absolutely nothing that I don't like in this cake.
There's nothing better than ice cream sandwiches.
Ice cream, Oreos, whipped topping. Can't go wrong with that. Let's start by adding some salted pretzels onto our baking sheet. Next, I'm gonna take some milk chocolate bars and just place that right on top of the pretzels. And right next to that one, we're gonna add some white chocolate and then one dark chocolate bar. And then we're gonna repeat the same thing, just alternating a little bit, and one more. All right, now it's time to pop this in the oven, which is on at 200 degrees. We want this to be low, and we're gonna cook these for about 10 to 15 minutes until all that chocolate gets nice and melted. All right, it's been about 10 minutes, and it smells so delicious in here. Look at that, just perfect. All right, now I'm gonna take a wooden pick here, just a wooden skewer, and we're just gonna drag it along our chocolate. As you can see, it melted beautifully. This is gonna make a really cute little design for us on here. You can also do all milk chocolate or all white chocolate, dark chocolate, whatever one you prefer. And then we're gonna go upwards like that. And then down. Look at how pretty this is looking. If you did multiple colors, it would look even prettier. And there we go, all done. Now it's time to decorate. And I'm just gonna start with some beautiful, colorful M&Ms. And we're just gonna scatter them all over just like that. You can do peanut M&Ms or regular M&Ms, whatever you like. Then I'm gonna take some little colorful sprinkles and just add those all over, just to fill in all that empty space and make this even more festive. And then we got some crushed peanuts, because I did want some peanut M&Ms, but I couldn't find them, so we're gonna have to make our own over here. Okay, now it's time to take our beautiful little creation and pop it in the freezer. You just wanna leave it in there until that chocolate sets. So 10, 15 minutes should be good. All right, it's been about 10 minutes, which means our chocolate bark is all done. And look at that, just perfect. All right, time to take this off. Wow, that was so easy. I love when things happen like that. So let's take a look at the back. That looks really cool. I like it. So let's break this up. You can have a whole chocolate bar to yourself, or you can just have a little piece, whatever one you want. I think I'm gonna try this one here because I like the white chocolate personally. So cheers. Chocolate covered anything is just delicious. But with pretzels, so good. I'm gonna start by taking a straw and using it to poke some holes in our golden cake. And now it's time to pour on some condensed milk. So I'm just gonna pour that all on top of our holes. Next, I'm gonna take 1 can of evaporated milk and we're just gonna pour that all over our cake. And for our third milk, I'm just using some 2% and we're just gonna pour that all over our cake. All right, now we need to pick up our cake and we're gonna go over here and pop it into our freezer. And we just wanna leave it in there for about 20 minutes. And then we're gonna take our chilled bowl and get working on the next step. And in that bowl, I'm gonna pour 1/2 cup of 2% milk. And we're also gonna need 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla. And then I'm just gonna pour 1 package of Dream Whip in here. And now we need to give it a good mix. There we go, that looks perfect. All right, let's check on our cake. It should be all set. Oh yeah, that looks perfect. And now we're gonna take that whipped topping that we made and add it on top of our cake. And then you just wanna smooth that out, covering all those holes up. And let's do our last little bit over here. Perfect. So now here I have some fruit that I've cut up and prepared. I'm gonna start with a small piece of strawberry and just place that right in the center. And around that, I'm just gonna place some little blueberries. We're gonna be making a little flower with that. I'm just gonna put those all around, pushing them in a little bit as I'm doing that. And here I have some fresh mint. And I'm just gonna take a leaf of that and just put it right here. And we're gonna take another one and place that on the opposite side. And now I'm gonna take some green kiwi and just place that on the edges here. And I'm gonna take a yellow kiwi and place that right beside it. And I'm just gonna keep alternating between the 2 kiwis. Now you can do whatever fruits you like, or you can just stick to all berries. And as you can see, we got a nice little border going around here. And let's just finish this off with 2 more kiwis. And then I'm gonna take some of our little blueberries again and some raspberries and just put those right in between our kiwis. And then I'm just gonna go back in with some more of those strawberries, just some sliced up strawberries that I'm just adding all around. And then I'm just gonna take some blackberries and just kind of place those in between our strawberries, just wherever you think looks good. And then we're gonna take some raspberries and just kind of place those in between our blackberries, just to kind of fill up those gaps. And then I'm just gonna take some more of those mint leaves and just kind of stick those in between our berries, just to add some brightness and some freshness. And for finishing touches, I'm just gonna take some powdered sugar and just dust that all on top of our fruit, give it a little bit more sweetness. Sometimes it can be a little sour, right? There we go, I think that looks perfect. All right, time to cut this. Cut us a nice big corner piece here. Let's take our slice out of here. Ooh, nice and creamy. All right, make sure you got a piece with some fruit on it.
Yep.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Wow.
That's really good.
That is so good. I'm gonna start by pouring an egg into our Cool Whip. Then we're gonna give it a little whisk and mix it all together, just like that. Then I'm gonna transfer that over into a large mixing bowl. Then I'm gonna take some red velvet cake mix and we're just gonna pour the entire package into here. And that's it. This is the mixture that we need for today's recipe. Now we need to mix that red velvet cake mix in with our Cool Whip. You can use a hand mixer, but I'm just gonna do it with a spatula. So I'm just gonna keep mixing this until it becomes very well combined. So there we go, our mixture looks good. So now I'm gonna use my ice cream scoop to take a scoop out and then place it into some powdered sugar. This part is optional, but it does make the cookies a lot better and prettier, and it gives it a little bit more sweetness. So I'm just gonna kind of roll it around in there, get a nice coating of that, and then we can pick it up, give it a little dust, and then we're gonna go over here to our baking sheet and place it just like that. So as you can see, I used red velvet cake mix. You can also do lemon cake, chocolate cake, whatever cake you like. You can also substitute the egg for some applesauce or mashed bananas. And I am leaving a bit of space in between so that they have some room when they cook. And before I put these in the oven, I'm just gonna take some small white chocolate chips. And I'm just gonna stick them into our cookie just like that. Then I'm gonna take some pretty little sprinkles and do a couple with sprinkles on them. This is optional, so you don't have to do this, but it's always fun to add some sprinkles and chocolate chips onto cookies. You can do whatever you want. Like I said, you could also do chocolate cake or any other kind of cake. And then you can kind of dress them up accordingly. So let's just add a couple more in here while our oven is preheating. All right, our beautiful little cookies are ready to go in the oven, which is preheated to 350. And these just need about 10 to 15 minutes to cook. All right, it's been 15 minutes and our cookies smell so delicious and turned out so beautiful. Look at that. They do need to cool down, so I'm gonna let them sit here for a few minutes. All right, our cookies are cool enough to handle now. So I'm just gonna take them off and place them over here. And as you can see, that powdered sugar really sunk in. And it just gives it a really cool effect. Let me break one up so you guys can see it. It just cooked so perfectly. You can see our little chocolate chips in there. And I'm ready to try these, so cheers. Wow. That's amazing. It's actually not that sweet. I thought it would be a lot sweeter, but it's not too sweet. Let's start by adding in our last Oreo sandwich. Then we're gonna take some Cool Whip and add some crumbled up mini Oreos into that. And then we're gonna give this a gentle mix because you want it to stay nice and fluffy, but also get all those Oreo crumbs really mixed in there. And there we go, that's all mixed in. Now we're gonna take our mixture and pour it on top of our Oreo sandwiches. We're just gonna spread that out gently, making sure to press it down when you see those empty gaps. All right, now it's time to add on some chocolate sauce. So we're just gonna spread that out, going back and forth, just like this. Now it's time for some classic Oreos, and we're just gonna start layering these right around the edges, just like this. You can press them in gently into that Cool Whip. I don't know anyone who doesn't love Oreos or cookies and cream, anything. And let's add in our last one right in the middle. Okay, next we're gonna take some plain Cool Whip and add that on top of our Oreo cookies. And then we're just gonna spread this out and pressing it in a little bit. And we wanna make sure we're going all the way to the edges. Now going all around, I'm just gonna place some half-cut mega stuffed Oreos, just gently pressing them into our Cool Whip. We wanna create a bit of a border with these, something like this. And I'm leaving a little bit of space in between because we have something else that we're gonna be placing in the middle. And going in between our Oreos, I'm gonna take some Hershey's Cookies and Cream chocolate bar and just place those on their side, just like this. Gotta have these in here because this is a cookies and cream dessert. And let's do our last one right there. And then I'm gonna take some mini chocolate chips. We're just gonna scatter those right in the middle here. Just a few, not too many. And then we're gonna need some white chocolate chips to go along with those. Again, just going right in the middle like that. And a few more, perfect. And then we're gonna take the star of our show and place it right in the middle. All right, now it's time to pop our beautiful little dessert into the freezer. It does need to go in for at least an hour so that everything can set. So we'll leave it in there and we'll check on it in about an hour or so. All right, it's been just over an hour and our dessert should be all set, which means it's time to take it out. Look at that. Okay, before we open this, I'm just gonna run a knife all around just to make sure nothing is stuck, so that way it comes off really easily. All right, time to open this. There we go, that came off pretty easily. Give it a little shake and voila. All right, let's cut a chunk out of this. Got to get through all those layers and all those Oreos. Get a nice big slice. There we go. Okay, let's get our gorgeous slice out of there. Place it onto our plate. Wow, this looks amazing. You can see all of our little Oreos and our Oreo sandwich down there. I'm gonna go for a bite right at the front. All right, cheers. That is the best tasting dessert I think I've ever had. So good. And if you know someone that loves cookies and cream, you gotta make this for them. Okay, now on top of those Hershey bars, we're gonna add some Mars bars. Let's start by adding some cookie dough to the bottom of our springform pan. Now we need to spread this out into a nice even layer. Now that we have our flat surface, I'm gonna take some more cookie dough and just place that on the side. Now we're gonna take some double stuffed Oreos and we're just gonna start placing these all in here. Now I'm gonna put 4 more Oreos over here to complete our circle.
4 Oreos.
And now on top of those Oreos, I'm just gonna add a few scoops of Biscoff. Now we just need to smooth all this out right on top of the Oreos. All right, there we go. That looks perfect. Next, we got some Reese's cups. Let's unwrap these little guys and start placing them in here. Just gonna fill in the middle here. Not sure how many we're gonna need. Okay, now on top of those Oreos, I'm gonna add a few scoops of Nutella and 1 more over here. Now I'm just gonna try to spread this Nutella out without disturbing our Reese's cups underneath. Oh yeah, this is looking great. Okay, now it's time for some cookies and cream Hershey's. This is gonna be so good. Oh my God, do you think we can fit 1 more in the middle?
Definitely.
All right, let's add our last little squares in here. Push those in a little bit. Okay, now on top of those Hershey bars, we're gonna add some Mars bars. Now to fill in the gaps, I've cut up a few bars into quarters so that they can all fit in here. Gotta fit this little guy in here. There we go, perfect. Okay, now it's time for our final layer, and I'm using some chocolate chunk brownie. Just gonna add a few scoops of that on here. Make sure it's nice and even. All right, there we go. This looks perfect.
All right, now you're gonna add your Slim Shadies.
Yes, our M&Ms. We're gonna take some of those because, you know, brownies and M&Ms just go together. So we're gonna put this little happy guy right over here.
Easy, Bob Ross.
I love Bob Ross. All right, now it's time to put this in the oven. Oh, that's so heavy.
I bet.
5 pounds of chocolate in here. We preheated the oven to 350. So we're just gonna go ahead and pop this in. And you just want to cook it for 30 to 40 minutes. Okay, it's been 40 minutes. Let's take a look. Let's see if this all stayed together. Oh, it's good.
Nice.
You ready? Ta-da!
Wow.
That looks amazing. Here we go. Let's take this rim off. Oh, that came off really easily. All right, here we go. Ready for this?
Let's see it.
Ah.
Is it not coming off?
This is a little, hold on. Maybe we should do it the other way around.
Squeeze it through.
Might have to break some edges off. There
Do
we
it.
go.
There you go.
Ta-da!
Wow, that looks so good.
All right, gotta cut a nice little piece here for us. Gotta get through all those layers. Let's cut the other side. Ah, there we go. It's a big piece, but that's okay. All right, here we go. That looks amazing. Ooey gooey goodness.
All right, cheers.
Cheers. That is so good.
That's so
I can't even
rich.
talk. So much going on in here. Let's add in our last jumbo marshmallow. And then we're gonna go ahead and add about 1 cup of Fruity Pebble cereal. And now let's go back in with some more of those marshmallows. And now we're gonna top this off with a little bit more of that cereal. And before we pop this in the oven, I'm just gonna take a few pieces of butter and I'm just gonna place those right on top. Okay, now this is ready to be baked at 350 degrees. And we're gonna cook it for 20 minutes until all those marshmallows and butter get nice and melted. All right, it's time to take out our marshmallow and cereal mixture. Ooh, that melted perfectly. And now with a spatula and some patience, we're gonna mix all this together. Oh yeah, look at that. Nice and melted. All right, this is the texture that we want. All right, now we're gonna take some of that mixture and we're gonna place it in the bottom of our springform pan. And I'm just gonna start flattening it out. You just wanna kind of pat it down and going all the way to the edges. All right, we're gonna get some more of our mixture. Now we're gonna do the sides. And now we're just gonna build our wall, creating a little dome in our springform pan. All right, this is perfect now. So we're gonna take this and we're gonna put it in the freezer for 15 to 20 minutes. And you just want those marshmallows to get nice and set. Okay, now going back over here, I'm gonna take 2 tablespoons of lemon juice and I'm gonna add them to 16 ounces of cream cheese. And then we're gonna sift in a 1/2 cup of powdered sugar. And now we're gonna give this a good mix. All right, there we go. Now I'm gonna add in 2 cups of heavy cream right on top of our cream cheese. Now this part is optional, but I'm just gonna add in a couple of drops of pink food coloring. And then we're gonna give this another mix. And there we go, this is what we want. Okay, now we need to take our mixture and then we're gonna put it over here in our marshmallow cereal mixture that we made. Now we're gonna take some more. I'm just gonna spread this out a little bit. We're just gonna fill this whole thing up with our mixture. All right, this looks perfect, but we need to put it back in the freezer for about 3 to 4 hours. Okay, it's been a few hours. Let's check on our cake. Oh yeah, perfectly set. And you know we gotta have some whipped topping on here. Just a couple going all the way around. A little bit more over here. Perfect. And just a few sprinkles to top everything off. Look at how gorgeous our cake turned out. Time to open this up. And I did grease this very well, so it should come off easily. But if you're having any trouble, just a little knife around the edges and you should be good.
The moment of truth.
Yep.
Let's see it.
Here we go. Ah, ta-da.
Wow.
How gorgeous is this?
That looks amazing.
All right, let's cut a slice out of our cake. Here we go. Wow.
Wow.
So pretty.
That looks so good.
Right?
All right, there we go.
Cheers.
Cheers.
That's actually amazing. And it's not too sweet. Let's add in our last Klondike bar. Then we're gonna take some Cool Whip and add 1 scoop of peanut butter in there and some powdered sugar. Now we need to give this a really good mix, get that peanut butter and powdered sugar mixed completely in with all that Cool Whip. There we go, all done. So now we're gonna take this and dump it on top of our Klondike bars. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and spread that out all over our bars, just going all the way to the edges and just covering them up completely. So I only used about half of the tub of Cool Whip. We didn't use the full thing. And there we go, all done. All right, now I'm gonna take some chocolate sauce and we're just gonna drizzle that going all the way down. And then we're gonna take some peanut butter sauce and drizzle that going along this way. And now for our next layer, I'm gonna take some Nutter Butter cookies and just start placing those on top of our Cool Whip in a nice even row, just like this. And these are filled with peanut butter, so they're gonna go perfect with our cake that we're making today. And let's just finish up our last row over here. Now here I have some crushed peanuts and I'm just gonna be putting those right in between our Nutter Butter cookies, right on top of that Cool Whip. And now I'm gonna take some more plain Cool Whip and just put that on top of our biscuits. And then we're just gonna spread that out into a nice even layer. And this one we just kept plain because we're gonna be adding a few toppings to it. And there we go, perfect. And now we're gonna top this off with some more of that peanut butter syrup, just going along this way, just like that. And then I'm gonna take the chocolate sauce and we're gonna do the same thing, going along this way, just creating this really cool pattern. And for toppings, I'm gonna start with some of these chocolate peanut butter Oreos, which I've just broken up into little chunks, and we're just gonna place those right on top of our Cool Whip. So I didn't even know they made these, but I thought they would be great for today's recipe, since everything is chocolate and peanut butter. And then I'm gonna take some mini Reese's cups, which I've just cut up in half, and we're just gonna kind of place those all in between. And for some more crunch, I'm just gonna sprinkle on some of those crushed up peanuts. Just kind of throwing them all in between. Doesn't need to be perfect. And this is another thing I've never seen before. Some thin white Reese's cups. They looked so good. I just had to grab them for this recipe. And of course, we gotta have some bright and colorful Reese's Pieces for today's dessert. So I'm just gonna scatter those all over. And of course, we gotta have some sprinkles on here. It wouldn't be a dessert without some sprinkles in my opinion. So let's just put those all over. All right, this is all done, but it does need to go in the freezer so everything can set. But look at how gorgeous this looks. That looks absolutely delicious. So let's go ahead and put it in the freezer because I really wanna eat. Okay, we gotta open our door here. Oh my goodness, this is so heavy. Get that freezer door opened, and then let's pop our dessert in here. Oh no, our ice. Is this gonna fit? Oh yeah, perfect. All right, it's been 30 minutes. Time to check on our dessert. Oh my goodness, look at how gorgeous that looks. Time to cut into this bad boy. Just get a nice big corner piece for us. Ooh, sounds nice and crunchy. All right, let's get our piece out of here. Get it all on our spatula. Here we go. And let's just put that on our plate over here. All right, let's dig in.
Get a nice piece of that ice cream there.
Oh yeah, get a piece of everything.
All
Cheers.
right, cheers.
That is the perfect balance of sweet and salty with those little peanuts in there. Nice and crunchy, but also very creamy. This is absolutely delicious. Let's add in our last row of marshmallow peeps. And now we're gonna go ahead and cover these completely with some Rice Krispies cereal. And on top of that cereal, I'm just gonna add a half a stick of butter, which I've just cut into little cubes. And then I'm gonna go ahead and top these off with a few more peeps. Now this is ready to be baked in our oven, which I preheated to 350. And we're just gonna put this in here for 10 minutes until those marshmallows and butter gets nice and melted. Okay, 10 minutes are up. Let's take out our Rice Krispies and our peeps. Ooh, these melted nicely. All right, let's mix this together. I'm just gonna do one color at a time. All right, let's mix our next color. A little purple peeps. Now I'm gonna do the yellow one. Classic yellow peeps, everyone's favorite. I'm just gonna do our last peep over here, the pink ones.
Shout out to all my peeps.
And there we go, that looks great. Now we're gonna take some olive oil and I'm gonna spray our little Easter eggs with this. Rub that around a little bit. And then all we're gonna do is grab some of this pink and we're gonna put it in our egg. And then we're gonna fill the other side. And then we're just gonna close this up nice and tight. Now I'm gonna take some yellow for yellow egg. Doing the same thing, just filling it up on each side. Now we can close it up. Perfect. Now I'm gonna take these and we're gonna go over here to our freezer and I'm gonna put them in for about 10 to 15 minutes until everything gets nice and set. All right, now going back over here, I got some boiled water in our cup and I'm just gonna place some white candy melts on top with a little bowl. And I'm just gonna mix this until they get nice and smooth. And there we go, this is perfect. So now I'm gonna go back to the freezer and take our eggs out. They should be ready. They've been in there for about 10 minutes. All right, let's grab one of our eggs and get cracking.
Get it cracking, I like it.
Let's try to open that up gently. I don't wanna break our little Rice Krispie treat in there. Oh, there we go, it's coming off.
You got it?
It's a little stuck over here. I did grease them really well.
Yeah, you did.
All right, there we go.
Ooh.
One side off. Try to get it out of this side now. Ta-da!
Wow, that actually worked so well.
All right, now I'm gonna take one egg at a time. And then we're gonna go into our white chocolate that we melted. I'm just gonna dip it about halfway and then pull it out. Let that drip a little bit. There we go. Now this is gonna go back over here. This is a really good treat to make with your kids because it's something that they can easily do.
I can't wait to try these.
Don't they look so adorable?
Like little white hats.
All right, now for my favorite part, decorating. Just gonna put a few sprinkles on here. You could do as much or as little as you like. Now I'm gonna take a little bit more of these sprinkles for this one. Just put that all around. Make it nice and pretty. Now I'm just gonna do our last one over here, the pink one. And there we go, we're all done. But these are actually gonna need to go back in the freezer for a couple of minutes just until all that white chocolate gets nice and set. All right, our eggs are finally done and now it's time to try these.
Let's do it.
Grab yours.
Cheers.
Wow, that's the best Rice Krispie treat I ever had. Let's add in our last 2 marshmallows. And now we'll go ahead and lift this up. And let's add a few more marshmallows. And now I'm just gonna add a little bit more cereal. And before we pop this in the oven, I'm just gonna add a couple of pieces of butter. All right, once your oven has preheated to 350, you can pop this in and just leave it in there until those marshmallows get nice and melted. All right, it smells like everything's ready to take out in here. Oh yeah, so delicious. Time to mix everything together. I'm gonna start here in the middle with these big marshmallows. And that little bit of butter that we put in there is just gonna help mix everything. All right, let's get our last couple of marshmallows mixed in here. And there we go, all mixed in. Now it's time to take our mixture and place it into our springform pan. And then we're just gonna flatten that out. And we're just gonna create a little dome in here. And I did cover our pan with a good amount of olive oil so that way nothing sticks. And there we go, that is perfect. All right, now this is ready to go into the freezer. We're just gonna leave it in there for about 20 minutes. All right, now we're gonna go back over here where I have some cream cheese and I'm gonna pour 2 tablespoons of lemon juice on that. And then we're just gonna sift 1 cup of powdered sugar right on top of our cream cheese and lemon juice. Now we need to give this a good mix. That is perfect. Now we're gonna pour in 2 cups of heavy cream. And then I'm just gonna squeeze in a couple of drops of blue food coloring. And let's mix that one more time. There we go, all done. And now we need to scoop out our mixture and place it over here. Let's grab some more and add it to our little dome over here. And that should be our last scoop. Now I'm just gonna go ahead and smooth all that out, going right to the edges, just like that. And there we go, that looks perfect, but it does need to go back in the freezer for at least 3 hours. All right, it's been a few hours. Let's check on our cake. Oh yeah, that looks like it's set beautifully. Okay, now it's time to add some whipped topping on our cake. I'm just gonna do this going all the way around, just making a nice little border with that whipped topping. And let's do our last one. And now I'm just gonna take some sprinkles and just add those on top of our whipped topping. Just add a little bit of color, make it a little more fun. All right, let's open this up. There we go. Now we gotta try to get this off. We did grease this really well, so it should come off nice and easy. All right, here we go. Ta-da!
That looks so good.
All right, let's dig in. Ooh, it's really frozen in there. We want to cut ourselves a nice big slice here. All right, let's get our slice out. I cut a nice big slice here for us.
That looks perfect.
Doesn't it? It looks so good. All right, let's try this.
Cheers. Oh, perfect.
All right, let's try this.
Cheers.
Cheers. Wow, that is delicious. So there you have it, our very easy to make cake that not only looks beautiful, but tastes absolutely amazing. I'm gonna start by pouring 1 cup of Coca-Cola on our eggs. And then we're gonna need a 1/2 cup of vegetable oil and 1 teaspoon of vanilla. And now we need a tablespoon of cacao powder and a dash of cinnamon. And now it's time to add in 1 box of chocolate cake. And now we need to give everything a really good whisk. And there we go, that's perfect. And now we need to take our cake batter and just pour that out in a well-greased baking dish. And before we pop this in the oven, I'm just gonna add a few pieces of butter right on top of our cake, just like that. Perfect. All right, now that our oven has preheated to 350, we're gonna take our cake and we're gonna pop it in. And you just wanna cook it for about 30 minutes. And while that finishes cooking, I'm gonna take a stick of butter and place that in our pot over here, and then take the remainder of our Coca-Cola and just pour that over top. And we're just gonna start making our frosting. I'm just gonna give this a little stir, help that butter melt a little bit. And there we go, that looks perfect. So now I'm gonna add some heavy cream in here, and we're also gonna need a little bit of vanilla. And then I'm gonna add in 2 cups of powdered sugar. We're just gonna add that directly into our pot. And we're also gonna need some more of that cacao powder. Then we're gonna mix everything together, get that cacao powder and icing sugar completely dissolved. And there we go, our sauce is nice and thick. So now I'm gonna add some chopped pecans in here. You can also do walnuts if you'd like, or peanuts, but we're gonna stick to classic pecans for today. All right, it's been 30 minutes. Let's check on our cake. Oh my goodness, that smells so chocolatey and delicious. Now using a chopstick, I'm just gonna poke a few holes in our cake over here, just like that. Let's poke a couple in the middle, just like that. And while our cake is still hot, I'm gonna take that frosting that we made and we're just gonna pour that all over our cake. And it's just gonna sink all into those holes. And now we're just gonna spread that out a little bit, just going all the way to the edges, making a nice even layer. All right, there we go, that's all done. And now for a Swifty cool down, we're gonna take our cake and we're gonna pop it into our freezer until that frosting gets nice and set. All right, it's been 30 minutes and our cake should be all done. Oh yeah, that's set beautifully. All right, time to cut into this. Get a nice big slice out of here. And here we go. Let's get our slice onto our plate over here.
Looks like a perfect brownie.
And I gotta have some vanilla ice cream with my chocolate cake over here. And on top of that ice cream, I'm just gonna add some chopped pecans. And then I'm gonna drizzle some caramel sauce on top of our ice cream. And lastly, I'm just gonna take some Coca-Cola candies and place those right there. All right, let's dig in.
Let's do it.
Let's try this.
Cheers.
Cheers. Wow. That's a 10 out of 10 chocolate cake. Let's start with some mini marshmallows, and then we're gonna drizzle them with some smooth peanut butter. And on top of that, we're gonna add a whole box of Reese's Puffs cereal. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and top this off with a few more regular sized marshmallows. And before we pop this in the oven, I'm just gonna add a few pieces of butter on here, which I've just cut into little pieces. All right, once you have your oven preheated to 350, you're gonna wanna pop this in. And we're just gonna let it cook for about 10 minutes until everything gets nice and melted. Okay, 10 minutes are up. Let's take our cereal and marshmallows out. Wow, does that ever smell good? Okay, now it's time to mix all this together. Look at those marshmallows, they melted so perfectly. I can't believe how good this smells right now. And there we go, it's all mixed in. All right, now I'm gonna take half of our cereal and marshmallow mixture, and we're just gonna put that in a well-greased springform pan. All right, this is perfect. Now I'm gonna take some marshmallow fluff and I'm just gonna pour that right on top, just like that. And this is gonna be the glue for our next topping.
Looks like glue.
All right, there we go. Now I'm gonna take some Reese's cups and I'm just gonna start placing those all around, all over that marshmallow fluff. I'm just gonna do the middle part here now, just a couple more. All right, let's put our last one right in the middle here. Okay, now I'm gonna take the remainder of our cereal mixture and just put that on top of our Reese's cups. We want this all the way to the rim of our pan. And there we go, this is all done. Now I'm gonna take some scissors and just snip off the end here of our bag, which I have some melted peanut butter in. We're just gonna start drizzling this all on top of our cereal mixture, just kind of going back and forth. And we're just gonna do the same thing again, but this time I got some melted chocolate, just some milk chocolate. You can use any chocolate you like. And for the toppings, I'm just gonna take some half-cut Reese's cups. And I'm just using the mini ones, and one more right there. And then I'm gonna take some of these Reese's Pieces candies, and I'm just gonna scatter those all over for a little bit of color and a little more sweetness in here. So I know you're ready to try this, but you're gonna have to wait about 10 more minutes because we need to pop this in the freezer and let everything set. All right, 10 minutes are up and we can finally check on our cake. Looks like it's set pretty nicely. All right, here we go.
The moment of truth.
Yep, I'm gonna try to open this first. There we go. You ready for this?
Mm-hmm. Let's see it.
Ta-da!
Wow.
Time to cut into this. And I wanna get a nice big slice because I'm gonna have to share it with you. All right, let's get our scoop out. Wow, look at that.
That looks so good.
Doesn't it?
Where's your fork?
We don't got time for forks. Cheers.
Cheers.
Wow. That is the best thing I've ever had. Last one. Take some cookie crumbs that I have added some melted butter to. Just gonna press down firmly, and I'll show you what we're gonna do next. You're gonna
You want to add your mashed potatoes.
This is cheesecake. We're gonna add some cheesecake to this.
You can't tell me that doesn't look like mashed potatoes. The skins and everything.
It kinda does.
Looks like a castle. Like a Kit Castle.
Castle? Can't wait to try this.
It doesn't look like it's deep enough.
That's okay. You want a little bit of space at the top. But we're gonna add something else here, okay? We're not done yet.
Okay.
So here I have some melted Nutella in a Ziploc bag. I'm just gonna cut the little tip off. Snip, snip. Now, slowly, we're gonna pour this over.
That's gonna take forever. You should have cut it bigger.
We're gonna put this
It looks
entire
like a
thing.
weird haircut. So how much Nutella is that? It's 1 jar?
About 1 jar, yeah. And it's melted. Just wait till you try this. This is gonna be like the best dessert you've ever had.
I can't wait.
And you don't even need to bake this. So this is a no-bake dessert. We're gonna take some broken up Kit Kats that I have here.
Semi-crumbled and fully crumbled.
Yes. So I hope you like Kit Kats because this is 90% Kit Kat. I'm gonna take some of these bigger pieces. I'm just gonna kind of stick them in the Nutella like that.
I see. Nice.
It's fine. It's fine. Because if you do this with your kids, they're gonna do this anyways, so.
Exactly.
Now, what we're gonna do is pop this in the freezer for maybe an hour or 2.
Okay. That's too long.
Can you wait that long?
Yeah, I want to do my best.
It'll be worth it, I promise.
Okay.
We'll see you in a couple hours.
That sounds good.
Okay, so it's been a few hours and this looks ready to me.
Wow, looks really good. Everything minus that tumor on that one.
Okay, now I'm going to remove this.
It's gonna break.
No, we got this. It's stuck. Oh no. Oh,
There we go. Nice.
Ta-da!
Wow, it looks good. Okay, I want to try it. There you go. There you go. Wow. Nice.
Well, there you go.
All right, let's try it. I can't even get a slice. It's so frozen.
Okay,
All
let's
right,
try
cheers.
Oh,
Nice. Make a mess. Perfect. Wow.
That's so good. I think the best part was the cheesecake part. The part I didn't make.
Yeah.
We're gonna take our chocolate and place that right in the middle here. And then we're going to top it off with another scoop of ice cream. Smooth that out a little bit. Now we're just gonna wrap this up.
Saran wrap around the ice cream?
Yep. I'm gonna give it a little twist. There we go, that looks good. I'm gonna take a piece of tape just to give it a little extra security. There we go.
I have no idea where you're going with this.
All right, now we're gonna take a box of Cinnamon Toast Crunch and mash it up. Okay, that looks good. Pour it into a big, large bowl. I'm gonna cut the top off first.
Unwrap your little snowball.
Yep. I'm gonna drop that right in here.
Roll it around, get it nice and dusted.
Yep. I'm gonna be a little gentle with it. I don't wanna ruin it. All right, now I'm gonna take this and place it into our egg wash.
Into some egg?
Yep.
Okay, I was not expecting the egg.
A little surprise. I'm gonna go back into the Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Back in.
Yep. Get a little more on there. Place that right here. Just for now. I'm gonna do the same thing with the next one.
Those are looking pretty nice. Nice cream.
Okay, now that our oil is nice and hot, I'm gently gonna place these one at a time.
It's floating.
So I'll let that cook for just a couple of minutes. I'm not gonna overcook it.
Now you're just gonna flip that halfway.
Yep. Now let it cook for a minute or so, and then I'm gonna flip it over. Ooh, there we go.
Are you sure it's all gonna stay together?
I think so. That's why we put on our Cinnamon Toast Crunch. All right, I think it's time to take it out.
Take it out. Did it hold together?
Looks like it.
Wow.
All right, now we're gonna take some chocolate sauce. Drizzle that all on top.
That looks amazing.
Right. For some finishing touches, I'm just gonna add some chopped walnuts. And last but not least,
Of course.
gotta have some whipped cream on top. Ta-da!
You gotta put more walnuts on top of that.
Just for you. Little walnuts on top. Okay, let's cut into this.
Moment of truth. Gotta make sure you get that chocolate. Did you get it? Got it. Nice. Open it up, let me see it. Wow, that's actually perfect.
Isn't it?
That's amazing.
You ready to try this?
Let's give it a shot. I had to get that chocolate out of the middle there.
Yeah, you got it all.
There you go, cheers.
Cheers. Mmm,
The ice cream's still cold.
that's amazing.
That's so good.
I love this.
Really good.
So let's start by adding in a full bag of Ruffles chips in here. Just gonna mix in all those marshmallows in with the chips. Now we're gonna transfer this into our blast bowl that we have here.
Definitely transferable.
Okay, next we're gonna add in some M&Ms. Adds a little bit of color in there.
Adds a little bit of an arm workout in there.
It's hard to work with marshmallows.
Marshmallows.
Okay, now we're just gonna add this to our cake pan here, our lightly greased cake pan here. And now I'm just gonna press it down a little bit. I don't want any gaps. We're just gonna add in some melted chocolate.
It's not Nutella this time.
Nope, not this time. And we're just gonna smooth that all out. Again, try to get it to the edges as much as you can. You want an even surface here. So I'm gonna try to get this as evenly as possible. Okay, now we're gonna pop this in the freezer for 15 minutes, just until that chocolate gets nice and set.
Sounds good.
Okay, our chocolate is all set. It's been in the freezer for 15 minutes. Okay, now I'm gonna take some melted white chocolate. I'm gonna add that right on top.
More chocolate.
And again, we're just gonna smooth this out.
So that's got to be the top layer now, right?
Almost. Okay, this is looking perfect. Now I'm gonna take some marshmallows. We're just gonna start kind of sticking those in there a little bit. And I'm just gonna work my way around. I'm gonna basically cover this entire thing with marshmallows. Just gonna put a last 3 in here. There's one more.
Looks like one of those weird mattresses. Pocket coil mattress.
Yeah, the comfy ones. All right, now we're gonna take a torch and we're just gonna start torching these little marshmallows here. Just gonna work my way around.
Start torturing them.
And we're doing it this way because we don't want the marshmallows to really melt. We just want them a little toasted on top.
So this is how we give it that nice butane flavor, right?
There we go, nice and toasty.
Looks pretty good.
Now we're gonna take this. It's getting kind of heavy now. We're gonna take this and we're gonna put it back in the freezer just for 2 to 3 minutes, just until that white chocolate gets set.
Sounds good.
Okay, all done.
Ooh.
Here we go. Drum roll, please. And ta-da!
What? That looks crazy weird.
The no-bake cake. Gotta get through 3 layers.
Right between the marshmallows.
Let's cut myself a big slice.
Oh, you got it.
There we go.
Wow.
A little cake pizza.
All right.
Cheers. It's so good.
How can it not be?
Start by dipping the Oreo in some milk, placing it in the pan, and gently pressing down. Same thing with the mini ones. We're gonna start with 4 bricks of cream cheese, and to that I'm going to add 3 whole eggs, 1 cup of sugar, 1 cup of heavy cream, 1 teaspoon of vanilla. And mix it all up until everything is nice and smooth. Now we're gonna divide this into 2 parts because we're gonna make 2 different colors. And to this bowl, I'm gonna add 1 package of red velvet cake.
Looks like pink velvet cake to me.
It's pink now, but once you mix it, it'll be red.
Wow, I can't believe how red that got.
I'm gonna start with the white batter. Next, I'm gonna do the red, again with the white, and I'm just gonna continue alternating between the 2 colors. Now I'm gonna take a wooden skewer, and a wooden skewer works best for swirling the batters together, and it gives it that nice effect. And I'm placing the skewer almost to the bottom of the pan to make sure that we get all the layers swirled. And I'm just giving the skewers a wipe each time before I go back in, just to keep everything nice and neat. And I'm just gonna swirl the center a little bit. It's gonna taste delicious.
I hope so.
I can't wait to cut into this.
It's gonna be epic.
Now I'm gonna put this in the oven for 1 hour at 325 degrees.
Let's do it.
I can't wait an hour, that's too long. Okay, bye cake.
We'll see you in 1 hour.
See you in 1 hour. Okay, our cake has been in the oven for just over an hour. Let's see how it looks. Ooh, that looks good.
Looks good. It rose up a little bit, eh?
Yeah, it did. It smells so good.
Like a little flower in the middle.
Here we go.
Oh, I hope it worked. It did work.
Looks good. Some whipped cream on top. Little mini Oreos. One here, right there.
That looks really good now.
Let's see how this turned out.
Oh, nice and easy. Still pretty soft.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, it's little hearts in the middle. All right, the moment of truth.
Here we go.
Let's
You
see
ready?
it. I'm ready.
Ah! Oh, that looks good.
Oh, pick it up, pick it up.
I can see some Oreo in there.
Not bad. We got a little bit of swirls.
Looks good. I can't wait any longer. I want to try this.
All right, let's do it.
Here we go. I'm gonna go for a piece from here.
Cheers.
Good. Cheers. It's very rich. It tastes like cheesecake, but cake at the same time. It's weird.
Yeah, it does.
But
It's
that crust is really good. We're gonna start by placing our ice cream bar right in the middle of our pan. Now I'm gonna take some white sugar and start placing that all around here. Next, we need some olive oil, or any oil would be good for this. Now we need to turn our heat on, and I'm just gonna put it on low. Oh, it's starting to melt. There you go. I think we should flip this so that this side can melt. Try not to burn myself. Ah, there we go. Now it can evenly melt. This is kind of like our sauce for our popcorn.
Popcorn sauce, eh?
Yep.
All right.
Now what we're gonna do is take some popcorn kernels. I'm just using about 1/3 cup here. We're just gonna add that right on top of that ice cream. Sprinkle a little bit of salt on there. And then we're gonna take a little bit more of that olive oil and just drizzle that all over the popcorn. So let's give that a little mix. Put those kernels in with that ice cream. So now at this point, you're gonna wanna turn your heat up. So let's turn the heat up a little bit here. And now we wait. This is where you have to be very, very patient. There we go. The pan's starting to get nice and hot now. You can see some sizzling happening. It's gonna start popping soon. I can feel it. See, there we go. We got one.
Is it popping?
There we go.
Oh,
Okay, starting to pop.
it's starting.
Oh, we got lots going on now.
Oh, nice. You gotta cover it.
All right, let's put that lid on. And we're just gonna let it do its thing.
I can't believe that's working.
Right?
What?
You wanna make sure you're shaking this around a little bit.
Give it a little shake.
Give it a little shake.
You can see the stick flying around.
Once the popping slows down, that's when you're gonna wanna turn it off and take it off the heat. You ready for this?
Let's see it. No way this worked.
It looks a little burnt, but it's not. There we go. Ah!
What? Still popping.
Maybe it wasn't done. All right, now we're gonna take our popcorn. We're gonna add it to a baking sheet that I have lined with some tin foil. Spread them out a little bit. Just gonna take your peanut butter syrup and drizzle that all over. Just like that on the popcorn. And then we're gonna take some chocolate syrup and repeat the same thing. I'm gonna take some colorful M&Ms and just kind of scatter those all over. You could do M&Ms or you could do whatever other chocolate snack you like. Okay, now we need to take this and pop it in our freezer. And we're just gonna put this in for 20 minutes or so. Okay, it's been 20 minutes. Let's check on our popcorn. Ooh, nice and cool. That smells amazing. All right, cheers.
Here.
That's good.
Peanut butter is the best part.
10 out of 10. Wow, that looks dope. I'm gonna start by smashing the Oreos. Now I'm gonna add the Oreos to a mixing bowl.
Now you're gonna add 1 cup of beer.
We're gonna add some melted butter to our cookie crumbs here. Give that a good mix. Okay, I'm just gonna add this to the bottom of our pan. I'm just gonna flatten this out a little bit. Okay, that looks perfect. Now I'm gonna add in some melted Nutella here.
Eee.
Now that we have our Nutella in here, I'm gonna spread it out. Okay, now we're gonna start by adding in 1 Oreo at a time. Not like that.
She dropped the first one.
I'm gonna do this all the way around.
That's not enough. I think you're gonna need some more, yo.
And the last one in the middle. Right there.
So we got a nice little floor of Oreos. Floreos.
Next, we're gonna start with some cream cheese. I'm gonna add some melted butter to that. And we're just gonna whisk it all together.
So we're gonna make our scrambled eggs.
Okay, now that our cream cheese and butter is nice and smooth here, I'm gonna sift in some icing sugar. Sip that in so you don't get any clumps. Okay, this looks good. Now I'm just gonna go back in with our hand mixer and mix that icing sugar in with the cream cheese and butter. Okay, so it's been about 30 minutes. Everything's nice and set. And I'm just gonna take our cream cheese mixture that we made, add that right on top. Could have used a smaller bowl, I'm sure.
Yep.
Spread that out. Okay, this looks great. Now I'm gonna take some crumbled up Oreos.
Sprinkle them on.
Sprinkle them on top, just like that. Okay, that looks good to me. And back to the freezer. Okay, so it's been 30 minutes in the freezer. Looks good.
Cookies and cream.
Yeah, you ready to open this?
Let's do it.
Here we go.
Unclamp it.
There we go.
The moment of truth.
Ooh, that came off easy. Wow, that looks dope. Look at all those layers. Oh, I heard an Oreo
Nice.
get crushed. I'm gonna get a big slice here.
That's a massive slice.
Well, yeah, I gotta share it with you, so.
That's true.
All right, here we go.
Let's see it.
Oh, there we go. Ooh, that looks perfect. We're gonna finish this off with some whipped cream and a mini Oreo. Okay, time to try this.
Let's do it. I didn't get it, barely anything. That's a huge bite.
Gotta have all 3 layers. Mmm. Crunchy, smooth. Love it. This is gonna be the best dessert you've ever had. For this recipe, we're gonna need 2 cans of apple pie filling. Now we just spread this out into a nice even layer, and there we go, that looks perfect. Now for a little spice, I'm gonna start with some ground nutmeg. We're also going to need some allspice. And finally, we're gonna need some ground cinnamon. Next, we're gonna need some chopped pecans. I'm just gonna sprinkle those all over our pie filling. Now, on top of everything, we're gonna need to add a full box of butter pecan cake mix. I'm gonna dump all that out. Make sure you get every last apple. Okay, now on top of our cake mix, I'm gonna take some melted caramel sauce. I'm just gonna drizzle that all on top. And I melted it so it makes it easier to spread. Okay, next I'm gonna take some more of those chopped pecans and just put those all on top of our caramel sauce. Now here I have some cinnamon with some brown sugar. I'm just gonna give that a little mix. Now I'm just gonna sprinkle that all over. This smells amazing already. I've got a whole stick of butter here. I'm just gonna place those little squares on top. You don't wanna leave too many gaps in between. We didn't use any egg in here, so this butter is really important. And there we go.
I think you're missing one.
I am, but that's okay. Okay, now this is ready to be baked. So our oven is preheated to 350, and we're gonna cook this for 50 minutes. I'm gonna take a quick look, make sure those pecans didn't burn.
Take a pecan, make sure those pecans didn't burn.
Yeah, they look good. Okay, now I'm gonna show you guys a super easy hack that anyone can do. And all you need is a fork and a knife and some powdered cinnamon. You can also use some powdered sugar, some cacao powder, but for today's dessert, we're gonna use some ground cinnamon. And we're just dusting that gently over our cutlery. Now, we're gonna attempt to remove these gently without ruining our little masterpiece underneath.
What?
Super cool, huh?
That is cool.
There we go.
Well
Ta-da!
done.
All right, and you know we gotta have some ice cream to go along with our apple crumble cake.
Definitely.
There we go. And we're gonna need a little more drizzle of that caramel sauce. Okay, our cake has been in the oven for 50 minutes. It's time to take it out. Ooh, that smells so good. And finally, we need to grab a scoop of our apple cake here.
Get that corner piece.
Smells so good. I can't wait to eat this. So much caramel and goodness in here. Oh yeah, look at that.
Wow.
All right, let's put that over here beside our ice cream. And for the finishing touches, we gotta have some candied pecans on top. All right, cheers.
Cheers. That's actually way better than I thought.
I'm gonna start by placing some Reese's cups in the bottom of our air fryer. And then we're gonna need some unsalted peanuts, as well as some honey roasted peanuts. Now here I have a milk chocolate bar, and we're gonna take the whole thing and just place that on top of our peanuts, just like that. Now here I have some vanilla flavored candy melts, and we're just gonna pour those on top of our chocolate. And we're gonna need a few more of those peanuts, as well as some peanut butter chocolate chips. And lastly, I'm gonna take some milk chocolate chips and add those all in. Okay, this is now ready to go into the air fryer, and we're gonna cook it at 350 for 10 minutes. All right, time's up. Oh wow, that smells delicious. All right, it's time to mix everything. Just gonna mix all that chocolate in with those peanuts, and you can see everything melted nicely. And it's really important that you cook this on a low temperature so that chocolate doesn't burn. We just wanna melt it. And there we go, that looks perfect. And now we're gonna use an ice cream scoop, and we're gonna fill up our muffin cups over here in our muffin tray. Let's do our next one over here. And I am leaving a little bit of space at the top for the next step. And don't worry, these are not gonna go in the oven. They're done cooking for now. And I'm just gonna keep working away here. We're almost done. All right, now it's time to top these off. And I'm just gonna start with some mini M&Ms for this row. You can really do whatever toppings you'd prefer. This is just what we like. So I'm just gonna do a little bit on each cup over here. And for this row at the front, I'm just gonna do some Reese's Pieces. Just goes really well with the peanut and chocolate flavor that we're doing for today. And for this row, I'm gonna do some crushed peanuts. Just a little more peanuts for our little cups over here. I love peanut butter and chocolate together, so this is one of my favorite desserts to make. And it's super quick and super easy. And for our final row, I'm just gonna do some festive sprinkles. It is autumn right now where we are, so I just thought these would be perfect. And these are gonna look absolutely beautiful on our dessert table for the party that we're going to. All right, our lovely little muffin peanut butter cups are ready to go into the freezer because they do need to set. You want that chocolate to cool down a little bit and those toppings to stay in there. We don't want anything to move, so we're gonna leave it in there for about 20 to 30 minutes. All right, it's been 30 minutes. Let's check on our peanut butter and chocolate cups. Oh yeah, those set perfectly. All right, let's take one of these little cups out. I'm gonna go for this M&M one over here. And I use some silicone muffin liners so that it's easy to take them out. And look at how perfect that is.
That looks amazing.
It's set beautifully. So let's put that over here on our plate. Okay, I'm gonna go for one of these festive ones back here. Just pop that out. Look at how beautiful that looks. Okay, time to try these.
Let's do it.
Cheers.
Cheers.
That is heavenly. I'm gonna start by cutting up our sugar dough cookie. And this is just some store-bought cookie dough. I'm just gonna try to make them as even as possible. And just cut along this way. You can also do this with some chocolate chip cookie dough if you want, but this is what we're using for today. So let's set that aside for now. And then I'm gonna take my muffin tray over here, and I've got some olive oil in a little bowl here, and I'm just gonna start greasing these up so that way nothing sticks. So now we can take our sugar cookie dough and just place them into our muffin tray. Doesn't have to be perfect, you just wanna get it in there. And let's do our last one. And then I'm just gonna kind of pat these down a little bit using my fingers, just so that we have a flat and even surface to work with. So there we go, that looks good. Now these do need to go in the oven for about 10 minutes at 350. All right, our sugar cookies are all done. I actually ended up keeping them in the oven for about 15 minutes altogether. So they got nice and golden brown. And while they're still hot, I'm gonna take a little glass and just start making a little hole in there. You wanna do this while they're still hot because it makes it a lot easier to press them in. We're just gonna do this gently, just creating a little hole there because we are gonna be filling these with some yummy goodness. All right, now it's time to fill these up. And I've got some pie filling here. And I'm just gonna start with some blueberry on this side. Like I said, you can do any toppings that you want or any filling. I'm just gonna do some blueberry for these little guys over here. And then for our middle one, because it is that time of year, we're gonna do some pumpkin spice, or pumpkin pie filling, I mean. Add a little dollop of that in there. This is one of my favorites. So of course we had to do it. And the cookies are still a little warm, so it is gonna warm these up a little bit. Then for our last one, I'm gonna do some cherry. This is another one of my favorites, classic cherry pie filling. Now I'm gonna take some little raspberries for our blueberry ones over here. Just place those on top. Take a little mint leaf and add that in between. Just add some color in there. Just make it really pretty. Then for the cherry ones over here, I'm gonna do some blackberries. And I'm doing this because it's a little bit of a contrast, so it's not the exact same. Get a little bit of cherry, a little bit of blackberry. And then for our pumpkin pie ones, I'm just gonna do some whipped topping on there, just like that. That looks perfect on its own. Then I'm gonna take some strawberries, some fresh cut strawberries, and just place those in there. I love these desserts because everyone can just have a little bit of each one if they want, or if they want only one. And then for our final one over here, I'm gonna do some more raspberries again. Just fill it right up. And then take our mint leaf and place that in the center. All right, our sugar cookies are all done. I did let them sit for a minute, just so everything can set. And now I'm just gonna go for this one here and take a little bite and try it. That is so good. Let's add in our last Toblerone bar. Next, I'm gonna take some Toblerone ice cream, and I've just put it in a little piping bag over here. And then we're just gonna start squeezing that all in between, just like this. And then we're gonna do the same thing going along these two, just like that. And then we're gonna go along this way, filling in all that empty space, just going back and forth with my piping bag. Once you've got all your ice cream filled in, we're gonna take some Cool Whip, and I've gone ahead and put it in a piping bag with another tip. And then we're just gonna start filling in all that empty space, just going all around. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and work on our next row over here. Now that we've got all of our ice cream and Cool Whip on there, it's time for some sauce. I'm gonna start with some caramel sauce, and then we're gonna go in with some chocolate sauce, and we're just gonna do that right on top. Look at how good this looks already. And for some crunch, I'm gonna take some chopped peanuts and just add those all in between. But I'm just gonna keep adding these peanuts because it does add a nice salty flavor in there, gives it a little bit of crunch. And now here I have some smaller Toblerone chunks. I'm just gonna take them and kind of place them on the edges here where our bars didn't fit. And I'm just gonna add a couple in the middle here just to give it a little more pizzazz. And no dessert would be complete without some festive sprinkles. So I got these little gold ones here, and I'm just gonna add them all over. Then I've got these cute little pearl white ones here. Give it a nice luxe look. Then I'm gonna take some more of the gold ones as well and just add those all over. You guys know I love my sprinkles. Now this is another thing I've never seen before, a white chocolate Toblerone bar. Look at how delicious that looks, and wait till you guys see what I do with this. Let me show you. I'm gonna eat it. So good. All right, now we need to pick up our dessert. It's a little bit heavy, so be careful bringing this into the freezer. Let's pop that open. And then we're just gonna slide this in, and we're gonna leave this in here for a couple of hours until all that ice cream and Cool Whip is nice and set. All right, so we let our dessert sit in the fridge overnight. So it's been there for about 24 hours, and it should be perfectly set. That looks so good. So let's just set that over here for now. And now it's time to finally dig in. Cut through those Toblerone bars. Really gotta make sure we cut through all those layers. All right, let's try to get this all out. Oh my goodness, this looks so good. So I don't know about you guys, but whenever I see a Toblerone bar, I instantly think of Joey Tribbiani. There we go, look at that perfect slice. All right, let's give this a try. It looks so good. That's amazing. I'm gonna start with some frosted vanilla sugar cookies, and I'm gonna add them right into our blender bowl. And we're also gonna need 1 packet of plain cream cheese. Then we're gonna take our bowl of goodies and add it to our blender stand. Get that in there, and then we'll lower this in and mix it all up. And we're gonna start nice and slow. There we go, all done. And now, using an ice cream scoop, I'm gonna make little balls using our dough here. And just place them on our plate for now. And let's do one more over here. There we go. Now over here, I've got some candy melts, just some white ones, and I'm just gonna melt these until they're nice and smooth. Now that our chocolate is nice and melted, I'm gonna take one of these little sticks, dip it in. This part's really important, so you make sure you do this. And then we're gonna place this into our little ball over here. Let's do another one here. Perfect.
Looks like a Q-tip.
You don't want to clean your ears with these. And let's do our last one here. There we go. Now I'm going to pick these up, and this is really important as well. You want to put these in the freezer for at least 30 minutes until that chocolate sets. This will help with the next step. All right, it's been 20 minutes. Let's check on our cake pops. Oh yeah, those froze perfectly. And now I'm going to take these one at a time and then dip them in that white candy melt that we melted earlier. And I'm just gonna give them a little twist and just kind of dip them all around. Make sure they're fully coated. There we go, that looks good. Let it drip a little bit. Then we're gonna go over here where I have some beautiful sprinkles. I'm just gonna do a little bit on top. This is why we put them in the freezer, so that way they can stick onto that stick. There we go, we'll set that aside for now. Let's do our next one here. I did do white candy melts, but you can do chocolate or whatever other colors you feel like, depending on the occasion. There we go. Then I'm gonna take some more of these festive little sprinkles here, different colors, very birthday-like. There we go. And we'll set that over here as well. All right, now for this one, our cameraman wanted extra sprinkles. He wanted the whole thing covered, so we're just gonna do that just for him. Let's just dip it right in there.
Load it up.
Is that enough sprinkles for you?
That looks amazing.
Gotta add some more to this side. There we go. More sprinkles just for you.
Looks good to me.
All right, I'm gonna finish these up, and then they're gonna go back in the freezer for about 10 or 15 minutes until that chocolate gets nice and set. All right, you grab yours. I'm gonna take this one.
Let's do it.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Mmm. So good. That's a 10 out of 10. We're gonna start with 2 eggs. Now give them a little whisk, and then we're gonna mix them in with the M&Ms. You wanna make sure they're mixed in really well. Okay, that looks good. Next, I'm gonna take 1 box of cake mix and add that to our M&Ms and eggs. We're gonna mix all this together. You just wanna keep mixing this until you have a nice, smooth consistency. All right, this looks good to me. Now we need to transfer this over into our cake pan. And I just put a little bit of parchment paper in there so it doesn't stick. There we go, it's all out. Now we need to smooth this out and make it as flat as we can make it. Okay, this looks good for now. Now I'm gonna take a few more of those M&Ms and just kind of scatter them all over.
Can't go wrong with more M&Ms.
Nope, and then just kind of push some of them in because they're sticking up a little bit. This looks perfect and it's ready to be baked. So I have my oven preheated to 350. We're gonna pop this in. and we're gonna cook it for 25 minutes. While our cake finishes cooking, I'm gonna take some icing that I've added some food coloring to and just do a few lines on some saran wrap here. And right next to that yellow, we're gonna do some green. Just gonna do that right beside it. It's okay if they're touching a little bit. And this is just some buttercream that I've added some food coloring to. And I'm just using 4 colors for today, but you could also do more. And last but not least, some vibrant red. So once you have your icing and your colors like this, you're gonna take the saran wrap gently, and you're just gonna kind of fold it over and roll it into a little log.
Icing sugar burrito.
Yep, and we're not gonna grab this end and fold it over because that'll just ruin everything. So you just wanna keep kind of rolling it over. You just wanna twist the ends, just like that. Now we're gonna take some scissors and we're gonna cut the end off of one side and place it into another piping bag. And I have one of those little end pieces on there, the little star-shaped one. Okay, let's see how our cake turned out.
Let's see it.
Ooh,
What?
that looks great.
This looks like a massive cookie.
That's kind of the point.
Wow.
Just gonna start by removing the rim.
Let's see it.
Are you ready for this?
Let's do it.
Here we go.
What? That looks so good.
That stayed in shape perfectly. Okay, now we're gonna take our icing and I'm gonna start over here. And I'm just gonna make a little rainbow flower. Isn't that cool?
That looks crazy.
I'm just gonna do another one over here. And I'm just kind of going around with the icing bag. And there we go.
Wow.
Ta-da! Just gonna cut a piece here.
Gotta see the middle, see how it turned out.
Yep, I wanna see what's inside. Make it cut on this side. There we
Lift it
go.
up.
The moment of truth.
Wow.
Wow, that looks really good.
That looks picture perfect.
All right, let's see how this tastes.
Let's do it.
Okay, cheers.
Cheers.
So there you have it. 3-ingredient cake.
That was so good.
And so easy.